Hello students, good morning. Our next topic for standard 8, we are going to discuss about periodic and non-periodic changes that we have already discussed in our previous video. So first of all, I'm going to give you a rough idea about what is a change. Let's now try and define change. We can define it as an act by which a thing forms or becomes different than its previous self. Like we can say that when ice melts, it changes into water, therefore it turns its form from solid to liquid. Now we have discussed about some common changes that are slow and fast changes, reversible and irreversible changes, periodic and non-periodic changes, etc. Right? What are periodic change? Changes which repeat themselves are called a periodic change. Day and night, phases of the moon, beating of heart, clock striking again, an hour, even the change of period in your school are other examples of periodic changes. Okay. Now what are non-periodic changes? Changes which do not occur regular intervals of time are called non-periodic changes. Like for example, eruption of volcanoes, earthquakes, forest fire, etc. These are the examples of non-periodic changes. Then we have discussed about reversible and irreversible changes. Now what are these? Reversible changes are the changes that can be reversed or a temporary conversions are reversible changes. Like the reaction that are reversible are reversible reactions. We can say that in such kinds of reaction, one substance is modified into another form, but a new compound is not formed. Now speaking in terms of chemistry, a change can be explained on physical grounds. Changes are very random or uncertain phenomena. Changes can be for the good or worse, depending on your view. As we mentioned above, melting of ice, cooking of food are all changes that happen around us. In some cases, we find that the original substance can be recovered back, while in some other changes, you can never go back to obtaining the original substance. The process in which you can recover, we call it reversible changes, and where you can never go back to obtaining the original substance, you call it irreversible changes. Now the next topic is exothermic and endothermic changes. Very simple. Exothermic means what? Exothermic means exo. Exo means out and thermic means heat. So the change in which heat is given out, we call that reaction exothermic reaction. And here, as we are discussing about changes, we call that changes as exothermic change. Like for example, which is given in your book, burning of coal is an exothermic change. Yes, because we all know that coal contains carbon. When carbon burns in presence of oxygen, no need to mention oxygen, because when burning is there, that means the presence of oxygen is always there. So whenever burning of coal is there, it is an exothermic changes. Why? Because a lot of heat is liberated. Second example, respiration is an exothermic change. Why respiration is an exothermic change? Because here in this reaction, as you can see, glucose, we are taking glucose C6H12O6, and from oxygen we inhale oxygen. These two reacts together to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. So energy is liberated heat or energy is liberated, so we call it exothermic reaction. Now what are endothermic changes? The change in which heat is absorbed. Endo means absorption, absorb, and thermic means heat. So the change in which heat is absorbed is called exothermic change. Like for example, melting of ice and evaporation of water are endothermic changes. As we have discussed in the first chapter, that matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. And we know that matter is everywhere. Matter is constantly experiencing both chemical and physical changes. So the next topic of your chapter is physical change. So see, matter experiencing both chemical and physical changes. So first we are going to discuss about the physical changes. Now what are these? What are physical change? A physical change is a change in which only the physical properties of substance get changed. And yes, no new substances are formed. Okay, no new substances are formed. It just alters the form of a substance, but does not change it to another substance. Always remember, no new substances are formed. So we call that change physical change. Now here you can see that it changes shape or size. These points also you can remember, that it changes shape or size, it dissolves, it changes phase. Like phase means what? Phase changing means ice to vapor, vapor to ice to liquid, liquid to vapor. So like that it changes phases. For example, you see making orange juice. Okay. Now if you prepare orange juice, if you squeeze it, what happened? Juice forms. It's just that orange changes its form. No, it does not change its identity. So it is a physical change. Now you see, physical changes occur when matter changes its property but not its chemical nature. Like physical property changes could include a change in texture, shape, size, color, odor, volume, mass, weight, and density. These are the physical if any changes occur in these properties, we call it physical property. Like for example, you see the example of physical change: painting a wall, a boiled egg, crushing an aspirin. These are the examples of physical change. Cutting of a paper. No, these are the examples of physical change, because if you cut paper, it will not lose its identity. It will it's still the same as before. More examples you see: melting of ice is a physical change. Sawing wood is also a physical change. Disappearing puddle is a physical change. Then dry ice is also a physical change. Now the next topic is dissolution of a solid in a liquid. See, if you take sugar, the example is given sugar and water. Example is given in your book. So if you take sugar, sugar is a solid. You dissolve it in a liquid, that is water. So whenever you dissolve sugar into water and you stir it, then what happens? Sugar dissolve in water, right? So it dissolves in water easily. So a solution of sugar always tastes sweet, right? Means sugar is sweet and the solution of water is also sweet. So that means what? If you dissolve sugar in water, or sugar on dissolution has not lost its basic properties. Means earlier also sugar is sweet and now also it is sweet. That means identity not changed. No. So that is why it is an example of physical change. Now what has written? Solution of sugar when concentrated by heating and then cooled gives back the crystals of sugar. You also know that. These crystals also taste sweet. Yes, obviously the taste always remains same. Thus, sugar, the original substance, is recovered from the solution by a simple method. Means if you boil it or if you heat it, the crystals will form. So during dissolution, sugar does not lose its sweetness. That is why we call that the dissolution of sugar in water is a physical change. Correct? One more reason is a chemical change produces new chemical products, as we have already know that in physical change no new substances are formed, but in chemical change new chemical products are produced. Now, in order for sugar in water to be a chemical change, something new would need to result. A chemical reaction would have to occur. However, mixing sugar and water simply produces sugar in water. The substance may change form but not identity. So that is why it is a physical change. One more way to identify some physical changes is to ask whether the starting materials have the same chemical identity as the ending materials or products. If you evaporate the water from a sugar water solution, you are left with sugar. So, from this also you can easily identify physical change. The phase changes are physical processes. Okay, you see, if solid melts, it changes into liquid. When liquid evaporates, it changes into gases. And when gas deposits, it converts into solid. Evaporation or vaporization of water is an example of physical change. So when you heat water, how you will heat? If you supply heat to water, it gets converted into vapor. So the vapor so formed when condensed or cooled gives back liquid water. The condensed water has all the properties of the original water. Obviously, the condensed water has all the properties. So the evaporation or vaporization of water is a physical change because it just change its identity. Okay, that is fine. So okay, now the next topic we are going to discuss it in the next class. Till now you study well, stay safe. Thank you.